must have been on drugs when I made all these roundabouts over here. Like, what the hell is this? I think I did that just to troll the cobbler. Remember that guy? The Dutch guy that sounds a lot like Unit Rico but isn't? Yeah, you remember him, don't you? One thing I've noticed, you guys are so picky about who I let on as guest commentators. Because some people, like, I'm not speaking for all of you when I say this, obviously, but I think I'm speaking for, like, most of you, or some of you at least. But, like, if it's not Dwyron, or Cat, or King, and even sometimes when it is King, certain people watching flip out. It's like, why are you letting on this guy, you know? I mean, to be completely fair, I have intentionally trolled you guys before by bringing in very derpy guest commentators, which has been fun. And a lot of times, I don't want to point any fingers, but there are those among you that don't get the joke, which is part of the fun for me, honestly. So I'm not complaining, you know. But that is part of the fun. Actually, you know what? Let's make another part green. That looks kind of out of place. Oh man, I am really happy with how the city has turned out. Less happy with how that building has turned out, but that's all right. It will advance itself. But yeah, I do recognize quality when I see it in a co-commentator. And of course, Dwyron, his credentials are known as a SimCity guy. You know, everyone just loves Cat. He's Cat, whatever. And as for King, well, he's quite lovable too. I'll pinch his little cheeks, buy him ice cream. And Eric, well, he's just Eric. I don't know what that guy's deal is. He just gets too excited about things, and he needs to calm down. I mean, he's constantly screaming and shouting all the time. I mean, holy crap, Eric. You have to chill out. Holy crap. Ugh. But I still love having him on, regardless of his insanity sometimes. I am going to completely encase this in Park Spam. It's beautiful, isn't it? Of course it's beautiful. Why wouldn't it be? So this travels under here, pops up over here, and then we're going to have it go up and then back down over here and pop up over here is the idea. Okay, so is there like a middle? We'll just have it pop up at the 2-yard line. Okay. Or the 3, I don't know. We'll have it pop up here. Okay, so no, we want 14 down. Oh yes. And the network add-on mod and this raising and lowering terrain mod are the two things that I think the two nicest things to fix what are the two most annoying bugs in SimCity 4, in my personal opinion. So, are we really having power problems again? Well, the good thing about it now is that we have the facilities. All we have to do is up it just a little bit, and it takes care of it. But yeah, the two biggest flaws of SimCity 4, in my personal opinion, are the terrain editing tools are not very precise, and traffic is buggy. These two mods fix those things wonderfully. We're gonna care about those traffic jams later. Okay, here we go. We're gonna have that be there. And we're gonna smooth that out. Ah, poop in a bucket. Let's give ourselves some security room. And I believe that was, damn it, I'm here. It's kind of funny that we are making trains in an area where we actually do have subways already, but it's okay. We're getting close to connecting it up. We're very close. So, I just kind of wish that we had both the SimCity 3000 and SimCity 4 terrain editing tools side by side, because the SimCity 4 terrain editing tools are a lot better for making more realistic looking terrain, whereas the SimCity 3000 terrain was better at making more precise. So I think having, realistic when you want it and precise when you need it is the best combination. So I kind of wish that would have existed, but we have this mod now, and this game came out in 2003, so I'm happy with how things are. Alright, so back to what we were doing. We are going to do some terrain editing, and I think there should have been some sort of function that lets me do what I'm doing here without having to place down these roads. I mean, not this is a hassle or anything. It just would have been a little bit more, it would have been a little sweeter, I suppose. We're going to build our rail. Oh, look at that helicopter. He's like, maybe he's a news anchor. So, look at the progress of the new rail. Alright. This kind of looks derpy, but it'll look better once we have stuff there. And here's our station, and let's happily have that street cut through. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, if you were drinking, or if you haven't started drinking yet, you should still be drinking, because the Bone Canoe drinking game continues with more game crashes. But we won't let something like that deter us from our ultimate goal of, making cities and stuff, this city simulation game. Yeah. So. I love this. It's a wrong way thing. The one way and the other are opposite of what they should be. Actually, they're opposite of what they should be all the way out, aren't they? It doesn't matter. They are what they are because they are. And so that is what shall be stayed. What should be stayed? What should be kept? Let's use proper English. Oh, man. Ooh. I just remember yesterday I had to set my alarm because I needed to get up for my first day at my new job, and the first song I heard, because I had my alarm set to the radio, was Guns N' Roses' Civil War. And I'm a big Guns N' Roses fan, as you probably are too, because you're not stupid people. And that was like a song I hadn't heard in a while for whatever reason, and it was just neat, neat hearing that. There wasn't really a point to that little anecdote. It was merely a self-contained little statement. But I like to make those. Oh man, when the game crashed, I actually went and I had lunch, and then I came back. So, Hi, I'm back, and I'm more awake and alert now that I have food in my gut, and I'm going to celebrate this wonderful occasion by building various forms of parks around the city. Oh man. It's kind of funny because I myself wrote 2 anti-war songs of back in the day, one in 2003 and the other in 2006. And yes, I used to write songs like that sometimes, and no reason why I wouldn't now. But sometimes I feel like writing an anti-war song is sort of the cheap way out when making a political message, because it's like, it's nothing that people are going to generally disagree with. I mean, some people, like wars are kind of cool. Don't get me wrong, but no one wants to have unnecessary conflict, and it's like one of those political points where no one's going to really disagree with you in principle. So it's just sort of like, man, I'm being deep by making an anti-war song, but it's the most common political message out there, and we want to hear other things. But yeah, that's why I like to make, when I make my political or social commentaries, I like to go much more, off the beaten path, so to speak, a little bit. And like I said, I really don't find much value in sort of just repeating what everyone else says. That's why, for instance, I don't take much pleasure in hating Nickelback. They're not that good, don't get me wrong, but you can do a lot worse, and it's just old by now. It's yeah, Nickelback sucks, we know, blah, 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 blah. It's why don't we pick on somebody who's popular, someone that people actually like even Justin Bieber, who actually likes Justin Bieber? I think I've met maybe one actual Justin Bieber fan in, IRL, in real life. They just don't exist. Nobody actually likes Justin Bieber. I think he's just as famous as he is just because people hate him. So it's all your fault that he is what he is. I mean, he's a douche. I just don't like him at all, but still. It gets even tiring making fun of him. It's just whatever. He exists. So what? I mean, I exist too. Do you want to come hate me? No, of course you don't. You love me. Alright. We have almost got the rail connected. And it would be nice to drive a train once the rail is connected, if I can. And there we go. And do you want to get to your house over here, or you have to go on this maze? You have to go on an adventure. And there's actually no good reason for this to be paused. So, there we go. Everything's good. I actually could probably use a little bit more piping over here. Speaking of pipes, there was back in the 90s, there was a PC game that came with computers called Pipes. Basically the idea of pipes was you had this grid and various pipes that might go straight, or they might turn, or various things. And you had you had a bin of pipes to choose from, and your goal was to make the longest, and there was an X amount of time before the water started flowing through the pipe, or the liquid of whatever sort it was. And you had X number of minutes or seconds to build a series of pipes before it started to flow. And if you got it beyond a certain amount, then you had you had the chance to go on to the next level. And there were bonus stages where it was like those puzzles where you shift the blocks around. You know, like there's a one block hole and you shift the blocks around to create a picture. There's one of those, and that was the bonus stage. That was a fun game, man. And I like how this is turning out so far. Yeah, dens of crimes, corrupt cities, politicians, Anthony Weiner, dog catcher, I don't know. But we're building stuff. Leave me alone. It's stuff building time. Oh man. So, do I want to put anything here, or do I want to just leave it be? Can I sneak a road under here? No, I didn't think so. Could sneak one over under here though. Oh man. Oops. Yoink. We have our aesthetic standards to keep up, you know. Actually, let's fill this with some industrial. It's like, where do you work? Oh, in the highway bend. Kind of makes me wonder if people are using the highway in this area. Apparently no one is. Don't really believe that. But I guess it's true. But it's not a big deal. You're not required to use a highway. That would be sort of a dick thing to do if you required people to use a highway. And this area will just be open parkland. I imagine like little trails in here and people picnicking, and because I don't know, I just love looking at bridges and rivers and things and highways. Just like sitting in this area here in the middle, looking around at what's around would just be like a neat way to spend a couple hours in the afternoon.